I've gone over everything I've been able to find out. Nobody liked Dominion voting systems. Nobody. Has anybody forensically examined these machines since the election?
We have only been allowed access to a few of them. We've got evidence of corruption all across the country in countless districts. They used the machines to trash large batches of votes that should have been awarded to President Trump.
Cenk, I want to turn now to some more poison pills, and those are the ones that have been given out by Sean Hannity now for quite some time. There's a major lawsuit against him, against Fox News, from defamation lawsuit from Dominion. You'll know Dominion is the vote counting machines and the people that they've gone after who said that this was a skewed election. Well, it turns out that Sean Hannity now says all along, he knew it was. He was asked under oath in an August deposition if he agreed with the theories that voter fraud and there was voter fraud and Democratic interference in the election. He said, "I do not believe it for 1 second." This is from the New York Times, and that was from the court testimony. "I do not believe it for 1 second." This is someone who went on television and talked about it as if it was fact every single night, all day long, and on the radio, on podcasts. This is someone who pushed that theory, that false theory, and he now says, Cenk, that he didn't believe it for 1 second.
Yeah, look, this is a double whammy against Fox News. This is devastating, and it also goes to show you, man, Hannity is not that bright. Every lawyer in the building in Fox News must have been ripping their hair out. Because let me tell you the part that is not getting enough attention about this. In order for Dominion to win, by the way, a multi-billion-dollar lawsuit against Fox, they don't have to just prove that Sidney Powell and Mike Lindell and others on Fox News were lying about them. They have to prove bad intent, malice, okay? That Fox News knew that it wasn't true and they put it on the air anyway. That is a very tough standard. But yeah, Hannity just helped them prove it. Yeah, he just said, yeah, I didn't believe it for 1 second. And we have clip after clip of him airing those theories out, even though he didn't believe it. That's bad intent, that's malice.
It is. This is November 30th. Sidney Powell, one of the attorneys that was trying to say that this was the case, going on his show the very same month that Joe Biden won the presidency. And this is what Powell said when she came on his, or if we can go to number 2 here, she on the Hannity show tied together Trump bogeyman, as the Daily Beast noted in a write-up, including the dead Venezuelan dictator Hugo Chavez, liberal philanthropist George Soros, communist Chinese money, and the CIA. That's from David Folkenflik and on NPR. So he kept entertaining this, and again, if you think that that this is a minor part of our press, this is someone who was on the most watched cable network, on probably the most watched show, though I don't know that to be the case. And this is what people are seeing. They're seeing him say these things and then come around and said, I didn't believe it for a second. What does that say about Fox?
Yeah, and Hannity's actually the second most watched. Tucker Carlson's number 1, but Tucker Carlson also implicated here, also took a deposition. The judge cut off the lawyers before they said the exact quotes that Tucker Carlson said. But it was clear from the record that Tucker Carlson hemmed and hawed and tried to avoid the question of whether he knew that the charges of vote rigging was false. But apparently, according to the lawyers, basically, although not as in starker terms as Hannity said it, agreed, yes, they knew that it wasn't true, right. and they carried it anyway.
Let's talk about the lawyers on the other side, right? I mean, this is Fox News. This is a behemoth. So going up against Fox News, a pretty tough thing to do. And people thought that Fox probably had an advantage to some degree in this case. As a matter of fact, Jeremy Peters of the New York Times wrote that the high legal standard of proof in defamation cases makes it difficult for a company like Dominion to prevail against a media organization like Fox News. Dominion has to persuade a jury that people at Fox were in effect saying one thing in private while telling their audience exactly the opposite. That requires showing a jury convincing evidence that speaks to the state of mind kind of those that were making the decisions at the network. Well, in Delaware Superior Court on yesterday in Delaware, the Dominion's lawyers argued that they had obtained ample evidence to make the case that, in fact, they know that Fox knew what was going on. One lawyer for Dominion said not a single Fox witness so far had produced anything supporting the various false claims about the company that were uttered repeatedly on the network. Not a single Fox witness and had produced any evidence here. And this is, it's affirming to people like you and me and the people that are watching this, most of them anyway, who knew this, right? Who knew that Fox was going on, was telling other people that they were fake news, when in fact, they were purveying the fakest news that we have ever seen in this country. And they knew they were doing it. It was performance art.
Yeah, and so guys, buyer beware. Now you know they and notice that when they're on air, they lie 24/7. The minute they get into a courtroom and lies have actual legal consequences, where a guy like Sean Hannity who makes $40 million a year might have to go to jail if he tells a lie on the record. All of a sudden he's like, yeah, of course I was lying the whole time on air. I didn't believe it for a second. All of a sudden he tells you what's actually true. And you've seen this over and over again. In other cases, Fox attorneys making the claim that no reasonable person would believe any of our anchors on air. They say such outrageous things. How could any reasonable person believe them? But at the same time, Fox executives know full well that people believe them. Of course people believe them.
Of course they do. And it wasn't just Hannity, it's important to know that it wasn't just Sean Hannity that was doing this. So the Fox executives knew it. In fact, this is in number 5. This included Meade Cooper. This is coming from Dominion's lawyer, Stephen Shackelford. Meade Cooper oversees primetime programming for Fox News and the primetime star Tucker Carlson. The lawyer Shackelford said many of the highest ranking Fox people have admitted under oath they never believed the Dominion lies. He said, naming both Ms. Cooper and Mr. Carlson. That's also from the New York Times. And then he went on to describe how Tucker Carlson had tried to, quote, squirm out of it at his deposition when asked what he really believed. So this is company-wide. This isn't limited to Sean Hannity, who's not a journalist, but an advocate. He campaigns for Republican candidates and then comes on TV and says, we report, you decide. He showed up at many events for Donald Trump and for other senators. I saw him at a Ted Cruz rally. So in fact, he is somebody who is not a journalist, but he is the person in this case who is the kind of front and center, but it went all the way throughout.
Yeah, and there's another giant problem for Fox News in this lawsuit. They're gonna lose a lot of money, man. They're eventually gonna have to settle, and it's gonna be for a monster number, because Fox News is part of a larger corporation, Fox Corp. And Fox corporate executives sent memos basically admitting, we know this isn't true, and trying to get it under control, right? And they were not able to get it under control, but that shows that the larger and more profitable Fox Corporation was also involved, which means they're gonna lose even more money. So it has an effect on how much Fox News can lie. If they lose about $1 billion for it, it might make them a little bit more gun shy. So that could be an interesting, effect of this. We'll see if, but that would be a major pivot for Fox News. If they had to tell their anchors to tell the truth, that would change the entire content of the channel. And I'm not joking. Right?
Yeah, no, yeah, it's dead right, and that's why even some of these people who have been looking at this, from the Donald Trump world, have been looking at Fox, have said, we're done with Fox. Because it seems like, Lou Dobbs leaving after the Smartmatic case, this lawsuit, people sort of acquiescing to what's happening with this lawsuit at Fox, within the walls of Fox. A producer at Fox reportedly begging producers to stop Jeanine Pirro from going on and talking about lies. All of this stuff getting out, said, go watch Newsmax, go watch OAN, because they're more on our team. This is going to hurt Fox from both sides. Could go to a jury trial if it doesn't settle in April of next year. I can't imagine Fox wants a jury trial, but it certainly would be great to see a jury of 12 people say that Fox knew that these lies were going on.
Thanks for watching The Young Turks. Really appreciate it. Another way to show support is through YouTube memberships. You'll get to interact with us more. There's live chat emojis, badges. You've got emojis of me, Anna, John, JR. So those are super fun. But you also get playback of our exclusive member-only shows and specials right after they air. So all of that, all you gotta do is click that join button right underneath the video. Thank you.